Live from the Mighty Veedverks Airship, I'm Travis Lippert, CEO of Verks Unlimited Limited, better known as Veedverks.
And I'm Julie Richardson, the Director of Commercialization and Promotions. And we are celebrating Hemp Week this week, and we can't celebrate Hemp Week without the fabulous Carla Boyd from Hemp Way Foods.
Thank you.
Super excited to have you here. You have had a blowout year.
I have.
You really have. And, you know, at the beginning of the year, you and I had talked about how so much had changed. And I think out of all of my friends, I think you are the rocket. You know, you have really gone and your company has taken off and you're everywhere. Every time I call you and I think about doing something with you, well, no, you can't because you're flying off somewhere. You've got to you've got to go speak or do something, but this is a really good busy.
No, it actually is. Somebody was calling me the other day, one of my friends, and they were just talking about how excited they were, and we were just talking, and she asked me, she goes, what has changed? Like, how is it different now than it was years ago? What do you think the blow, the all of a sudden blow up is? And I said, it's not an all of a sudden blow up. It's been a slow progression. It just looks like it, because it's kind of like laying, the bricklayer, laying that cobblestone road. It's one brick at a time. And when you get half the road done, you can kind of look back on what you've paved. And I kind of associate it with that. It's been years and years of laying those bricks and laying those milestones. And each little thing has accumulated to become the big.
Right.
So it's all exciting. I mean, it's been amazing having the phone calls of people from all over the state. I mean, all over the country, asking me to speak at the upcoming awards. Hemp food is hemp nutrition is actually one of the oldest. I mean, we've been eating hemp food since basically the beginning of time. But, back in the 70s is when it kind of got bastardized as far as, with a lot of the laws and things that came into place. So we haven't had a lot of hemp foods for, I'd probably say, a good 20, 30 years. And definitely in the last 10 years, there's been more of a resurgence of them. I started my company 5 years ago. And since I've started mine, I've seen, a lot of other items. I was in Natural Grocers the other day, and I was getting a Hail Mary product, and they're brownies. Now they have these little brownie bites, and they actually have hemp hearts. It made me think. I was at a industrial hemp summit in Virginia, not this past year, but the year before. I was out there this year as well, but This was last year. Trey Riddle with Sunstrand Hemp. We were on the panel together, and he made a comment, and he said, if we do our jobs right, 90% of the products will have hemp and no one will know. And my hair stood on end, and I thought, that is appalling. How dare, no, we all need to know. No, we need to know we're having hemp. But walking in Natural Grocers and seeing the Hail Mary wasn't all loud and proud. It was a very subtle, and they have hemp hearts. It has amazing nutrition. And I looked at the nutritional panel, and it's not thrown in there just as a trend.
Right.
It actually is a good amount in there. And it made me happy, and I thought, now I understand what Trey was talking about. But we also need the loud and proud as well.
Oh, yeah.
We also need the people going, hey, this is hemp food nutrition. This has been around, for thousands of years. We need this in our body, and it's important. So we need both. So it was really, it made me actually, I haven't had a chance to even tell him that yet. So I'll have to reach out to him and tell him, okay, Trey, I got your point.
Well, this company was born out of your desperation to just find something to eat that wouldn't make you so viciously sick.
Well, just in general, our food has really gone downhill in so many ways. The ingredient quality with what we've done to our food is, quite frankly, appalling. What we put into our bodies. Food is medicine. We are what we eat. Mm-hmm. And we've gotten so far away from that in society that, you know, we eat the crap, quite frankly. I don't, you know, we have more and more meat alternative foods coming out. And it's a lot of non-natural food.
Right.
I don't know. I want to see some studies. I'd like to see some. I would really like to see how their nutritional panel stacks up with, you know, true wholesome ingredients. I feel we're almost going backwards in some ways. We're coming forward in food, but in some ways I feel we're also going backwards with a lot of the ingredients we're adding.
Right.
To our foods.
Well, I kind of felt that way with the low fat, no fat, and the turkey craze. You know, if you read the ingredients on turkey bacon, it was so toxic. You might as well just eat bacon.
I know.
And you know, all the non-fat. You know, the food industry puts oils and what have you in the food to make it more satisfying and make you want to eat more of it. But that's also causing a lot of the IBS and gastric illnesses that people are suffering from. They go, oh, I eat a healthy diet. And you open their fridge and everything's low fat. Well, I immediately know why they have IBSD, you know?
Yeah, it's so important to eat clean, healthy ingredients. We've gotten so far away from that as a society, and I had a horrible issue with leaky gut, and it really I turned to hemp, trying to figure out what I could do. And with hemp being it's a natural anti-inflammatory, it has it's antimicrobial. It has all your known 20 amino acids, the 9 which our body does not produce. I mean, it really is a pure plant protein. Yes.
Thomas Edison.
It's the
globulin.
It's a globular protein that is in the high 60% range of digestibility. So it helps. Hemp is kind of considered like an uptake. So it helps you absorb like tryptophan. That is a blocker. That is an inhibitor. Hemp contains none of that. It contains no inhibitors. So therefore, when you eat hemp with other very nutrient-dense foods like chia and flax and amaranth and things like that, you're going to absorb those nutrients better than if you were eating them just by themselves, because of the uptake scenario, the globular protein being so digestible.
Thomas Edison brand globular proteins, hemp-derived globular for all of your globular protein needs. Look no further than Thomas Edison brand Edison, hemp-derived globular protein.
But no, it is such a great product, and I use the hemp heart, which is the inside of the seed, and I use that in my food because my the burger, the crumble, and then the new breakfast Italian sausage.
You still getting those hemp hearts from a guy named Travis?
I am. I know. I mistakenly text him all the time.
She keeps trying to buy hemp hearts from me. It was
like, hey, I need 100 pounds.
It was very confusing for a while.
And knowing our Travis, he probably did try to find you hemp hearts.
Oh, I'm sure he probably did. Like, hey, I need 500 pounds this week.
Yeah. Well, working with hemp hearts, people don't realize just how versatile they are. I mean, I like them. I keep a bag in the fridge all the time because I have low blood sugar, and a tablespoon of hemp hearts is enough to where I don't feel like I'm shaky.
Hemp hearts
anymore.
are shelled seeds, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. But then you can put them in a food processor and make a lovely butter out of them.
Yep.
We had not Susan, but the kitchen queen, Sarah. Sarah Gordon, the kitchen witch, she came and she made all kinds of wonderful date bites with hemp hearts, and then a very decadent, and you've made it too, the avocado with hemp hearts, the pudding, the mousse.
Oh, hers is a little different. Hers is a lot more detailed than mine. A lot more. Mine's pretty simplistic. It's avocado, mousse, dates, coconut cream blended. Hers is more of a chef's sophistication.
She's so... everything with hers is just an extra notch up.
Yes, it definitely is. I love her food.
If not 2 or 3 notches up.
No, I was actually so sad when her cafe, because she had a cafe inside a bar on Sheridan. A little over.
Really? I did not know that.
Yeah, it closed because of the bar.
Oh.
The bar decided to close, so therefore she lost her place. But no, I actually, it was so good. It was really, and it was so funny to see these big, because she was a plant-based cafe, and you'd see these big old burly men, because it was not a plant-based bar.
Oh dear.
At all. They loved her food. Loved her food. So no, she's an amazing chef. I love any time I get to eat Sarah's food. But yeah, it's so versatile. I mean, you can do anything with it. It can be, I won second place in a collaboration with Ag Days for my hemp pesto aioli.
Oh, nice.
But it was on a meatball. So I worked for Ag Days, I worked with the chef on Team Beef. And so for Team Beef, they did my hemp mayo that I turned into a pesto aioli.
Right.
And they topped it, and it won second.
Nice.
Just this past March for Ag Days.
Well, I know your crumbles, they really do an amazing job as a meat substitute.
Yeah.
And super, super easy. You throw them in the oven, you toast them a little bit, and you can put them in any sauce, any casserole, and they hold their texture to where you get that meat experience that you're wanting.
Yeah, I just reformulated. I left brown rice. I left quinoa and moved to organic brown rice, and I think it gave it more of, I don't want to say meatier texture, because that was never necessarily my intention to be a fake meat. I mean it to be food.
Right.
Nutritious, wholesome, delicious food. But in a lot of ways, it gave it that texture, a little more of that meaty wholesomeness when you bite down, and I would say probably more of a kid, open for a kid palate. I've had more of my friends' children with the brand new reformulation. They've been going, oh, my kid actually really eats this now.
Isn't that funny how humans are? I don't know how many times I've heard it's a texture thing. It's a texture thing. But it really is important, if you're trying to use it as a substitute in our brains, it has to feel in our mouths correctly,
No, it is. And so it's exciting. Hemp can, because we're talking about everything that hemp can do. It like I said, it can make stuff like my product, the hemp burger, hemp crumbles, the Italian hemp sausage. It can make, hemp nacho cheese sauce, hemp butter, hemp truffles. It's amazing. You just do the hemp with some cacao, some dates, roll them up. And it's
that's an inside joke.
Cacao. No
now
cacao.
You've got to
I'm gonna
tell
pull
the
that
joke.
No, well, you guys keep talking. I'll pull it up for everybody.
Well, you're special because you went out of the box. Everybody wants to make, or people getting into the hemp and CBD, the first thing they think of is something sweet. Let me make a caramel, a brownie, a cookie, a chew. Like, oh, no. Because there's so many of us who can't or shouldn't have sugars.
Yeah,
here
definitely.
You have this fabulous savory product.
Well, and in Hemp Way Foods, our mission has been a little different, just altogether. Not only with producing a savory product, but also we're hemp nutrition. Don't get me wrong, love CBD. Mm-hmm. It's it is a great product, but my issue is hemp food nutrition and CBD are getting lumped in the same category, and they're not the same thing. You can live on hemp nutrition. It can sustain your body. CBD will not give you without eating other foods.
So am I hearing that you are not planning on putting out a CBD infused hemp burger yet? I mean, you seem like Ben & Jerry's is going to do CBD ice cream. Who better than to...
No, and I'm not saying I'm against it by any means.
If you don't do it, who will?
But what my point is, I want people to understand that there's a difference, though. There's a difference in hemp nutrition versus CBD. And I mean, who knows what the future holds? You never know. There might be a Hemp Way Foods CBD line, but it'll be different. It will be in the realm of CBD, not, I don't know that I would also do hemp hearts, but maybe I will. I don't know. You never know what the future holds. Hemp Way Foods, we have a lot of things in the works. We have an NDA. I'm not going to name the university yet, but they are the #1 university in one of the top universities, Ivy League for food science. We have
Would
a
you
contract
say it's
with
the
them.
Colorado Christian University of the East? No, I'm kidding. I don't even think that's a real school.
But
they just show up to the state house.
But they
Smart Colorado.
We're looking at them studying Hemp Way Foods on a nutritional. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Them studying Hemp Way Foods more on a taste test challenge. They actually do not want to take on the nutritional. But, and I will say this because we don't even have a contract or anything with them. But maybe something will come up. But I really, really, really want CSU. We have approached them. We just have not been told yes or no. But I want CSU to handle the food science study, and the other college out east to do the taste test. Because I personally feel that it would be a conflict of interest for the college to do both. I feel it would stand on better ground.
I want to compete in the taste test.
No, I know. I'm excited. Hemp Way Foods is going to go up against some of the major brands, some of the biggest ones that are coming out right now. And we're going to do a couple different challenges. We want to do a taste test blind with no nutritional value, and another blind taste test, but before they take a bite of each one, we will tell them the nutritional value, but yet they still won't know. And we're also going to do a taste test challenge against a high-end beef burger as well. That's how confident I am in this product, though. I really am. It's a delicious product, but not only is it delicious, you're putting whole food ingredients in your body, and it's power packed with nutrition. The nutritional panel is outstanding. Not only though protein is very important, but it's got so much more than protein. We've got manganese, we've got iron, we've got potassium.
Got what? Iron.
I know that southern accent.
Iron.
Wash.
Oh. I'm not okay. So, what are those called? Kaiser rolls. Cut the Kaiser roll. Put the bottom half on there. Do some lettuce, tomatoes, onions, hemp patty. Then hamburger, bacon, cheese, top bun. Is that something that would qualify for the challenge, the taste challenge?
No.
No? Somebody should do that. You know, if you want to go halfway hemp, not all the way hemp, they make these double patty burgers. Is anybody doing that yet?
No, maybe I would
Well, they put onion rings on a hamburger. Why not?
There's a hemp business idea of the day.
Yeah, maybe we'll tell City Grill about it down in Denver. They carry my food. They're always interested.
They make excellent burgers too.
I know they're known for their burgers.
Yeah, it's really good.
They do really good with my hamburger.
That's one of the best places you can get a hamburger within walking distance of the state capitol. At least is what's it called? City Grill.
Yeah, City Grill.
City Grill. They make a really good hamburger, and that's really cool that they took.
I've been there.
They
for
take their
just over
burgers
a year.
very seriously.
Oh yeah, no, and they love my. In fact, that's where I was when I was featured on CBS 4 in March. They did the feature at City Grill.
If you think about it, like adding a second hemp patty on top of a regular hamburger is, I mean, it's like adding hemp sprinkles to salad.
Yeah, instead of having a double burger, just
yeah.
Anyway,
For those who can't go all the way. Oh.
I know bodybuilders who are always trying to get more protein.
Yeah,
you know?
So then, if you put CBD in that burger patty, or the hemp burger, what do you call it? A hemp burger patty?
Yeah, hemp burger. Well, that is the
that's a sausage.
That's the Italian hemp breakfast sausage.
What you brought us, is that your standard packaging? Can we show it how it comes?
Oh no, my packaging is it's not produced yet.
No, I mean how it's sealed and stuff, how it's separated.
Oh, the vacuum seal?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that standard? Okay.
Yeah.
So
I vacuum seal 2 burgers in one, and then the breakfast sausage is 3 in 1 pack retail. But yeah, I don't have my box is literally being produced.
How do you do your lot codes, or how are you going to do your lot codes?
UPC codes?
No, like says.
Oh, I just use a sticker gun right now because all my stuff is such small batched.
Mm-hmm.
But as I start making larger and larger and larger quantities, I'll get into the more specifics with my brain just
the lot
working.
codes. Yeah. Yes. Sorry, and I'm just letting you. So we're switching due to, well, we've been working on it for a long time to get the back end set up, but we are switching from doing our lot codes with that, whatever. I don't think I have that other camera set up, but we're going to start doing QR codes, and we just got our little QR code sticker dedicated machine.
Oh, we finally
working.
Got it in.
Yeah, so
awesome.
we're gonna go to that. And it definitely sounds like a lot of what I heard at that FDA meeting, the hearing on CBD and foods on Friday, leads me to believe that this is just very close to being mandatory. So if you're doing your lot codes in a different way, then I would switch to QR codes. What do we get? We got a cheap way to do it is a Zebra GC420T printer.
Okay.
And that's how we're going to solve it for right now. But,
yeah, because I just do the sticker gun.
Yeah.
Individually, but I can do that way because I wasn't going to go to pre-printed codes anyway on my box.
Yeah,
definitely no point in that. So I can put them on there individually.
Got the machine and like 13,000 little, I don't know, 1.5 by 1 inch stickers for like $309.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, the tricky part's just having the back end set up, I guess, so that lot code takes you to something meaningful. So if you put CBD in there, it is definitely going to be a requirement that you have to link to the lab tests for CBD containing products, and probably the lab test for not just the COA, not just the certificate of analysis, not just the cannabinoids, but the heavy metals, pesticides, residual solvents, microbials. So it's probably going to end up having to go to a page that's got like 5 different lab reports on it that all, proving that this CBD that went into this overall food product is, not filled with heavy metals and not filled with pesticides, which it shouldn't be. But that raises the question, like, what about the rest of the stuff in the food?
Exactly.
Why, if I put 100 milligrams of CBD in, what's a sausage patty weigh?
2.5 ounces.
2.5 ounces, so like 56 plus, I don't know how many grams that is. What's 2.5 ounces to grams? But you just put 100 milligrams, a tenth of a gram in there. And now all of a sudden, they're going to require all of these tests.
71 grams.
71 grams. So how much is 100 divided by 71,000? I thought you were doing a calculator over there.
Well, I can. I didn't know you put me on the spot.
Sorry. So 100 divided by 70,000. What percent is that?
0.00143.
So if I put in 0.00143% CBD derived from hemp into this hemp burger, and then or put it into let's just say like that sauce that they
Yeah.
what was it? Who was that? Carl's
Carl's
Jr.
Jr.
So in that sauce, I put 0.00, a tiny amount of CBD in that sauce. It has to link to all of these different lab reports, but everything else that we eat, like one of the main problems that people had with CBD in food at that FDA meeting on Friday was that they were concerned that it was going to be like everything else that they feed us. Like, I want to see the heavy metal tests. I want my can of corn to have a QR code on it that links to all of the lab reports on that corn, proving that it's not just absolutely rife with glyphosate and heavy metals and all that stuff. So we're obviously moving to stay ahead of the curve and do that. But I think they ought to do that on everything. Why?
Well,
now that we're talking about it, yeah.
Well, everybody says, we're just going to be like peas and corn. Okay, well, if you're going to be like peas and corn, then let peas and corns have to have a QR code. Then.
Yeah.
I want to see
Up your game.
Heavy metals.
Up your game, rest of the stuff
Not
that you're
just
feeding us.
organic and non-GMO.
Let's
Let's
show some
all-
true test. If we
let's
have to do it
all
in this
do-
industry, let the other industries have to do it.
Yep. All of us do this. But that little tiny smidgen of CBD that goes into a burger-sized unit of food is definitely, that's not going to be the cause of the heavy metal poisoning or the glyphosate that you consume in that. But it's, I'm telling you. The point is we're going to redo how we do our lot codes.
Did they say how many milligrams was going on that burger or anything?
Oh, it was so minute.
I think it was in the sauce. Didn't we figure that out?
Yeah, it was in the
Yeah.
sauce. It wasn't even in the burger. But
it's the sauce.
very minute.
Yeah, it wouldn't even really make a difference. They just put it in there it was an advertising stunt.
I'm glad they did it. I thought that was awesome.
It brought notoriety to it. It just, I just personally feel, I don't know what it gained though, other than people.
I'll tell you exactly.
It brought
what
notoriety to the CBD industry, but I think it made it kind of a joke in a way. Just that's me personally, but I think it allowed a lot of people just to be the butt of a lot of jokes.
Every time somebody does something like that, I send a text to a link to that article to Carl Long, who sends that on to NASCAR, because we've been working on them for 2 years now to get back on their car. And when Carl's Jr. did that, I said, okay, now you can add to the list of people who are way bigger hemp companies than us, who can't advertise in NASCAR unless you start allowing hemp sponsors. You got of course, Marlboro, because that's Kronos. They own Altria.
Yep.
Owner of the brand Marlboro bought like 45% of a Canadian company that makes that grows hemp or that grows cannabis that contains more than 0.3% delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol, right? So they're a great big weed company is what they are now. So add Carl's Jr. to that list and the whole, so that would include Hardee's. Like none of those people can advertise in NASCAR because they're great big hemp companies now. And so when Carl's Jr. did that, I guarantee you I sent that article to pass it on to NASCAR. And now we're at the point with NASCAR that we have to send a bottle of lotion to a lab in Utah that tests athletes' urine. It's their drug testing lab. Like when drivers get randomly selected, they get to pee in a cup. I would bet you money that it goes to this lab in Utah, and a cannabinoid just panel in Colorado costs us $45, but at this lab it's $1,000.
What?
Yep, $1,000 to test to see whether or not this has THC in it.
So what are they doing to justify $1,000? I mean, seriously,
that's my
what's going on when it's $45 one place and $1,000 the other?
Well, I raised that question in the middle of the night I wrote a couple of lengthy emails last
I can
week.
just imagine.
But so that was one of the questions I raised, and really what it came down to is they can. It's their rules. We play by their rules or not. So
want.
I talked to the director of that lab yesterday, and he said that he's tested 80 hemp products, or 80, purportedly CBD products, and some of them didn't have any CBD in them. And of all of the ones that had CBD in them, 100% of them had a detectable amount of THC in them. And so I've been on the phone. So that I guess the questions that come up are like, well, what kind of equipment do they use? And so I've been playing phone tag with labs in Colorado and stuff to find out what is zero. When I buy a kilo of isolate and it says that it has 0% THC in it, and then I put it into lotion and it's comes out 0.48% THC, or 0.48% CBD, then now the THC should be super diluted. But like, what is zero? How accurate are these machines? And my current understanding is that the ones that we use in Colorado are a lot more accurate than the ones that they're going to use at this drug lab, or the urinalysis lab. But it's interesting to me. 0 out of 80 have passed. Are they just testing? Obviously they're testing a bunch of garbage products because, if it doesn't have any CBD in it, then I'm not sure how they've gotten these products over time. But it's going to cost $1,000 to find out. If we send this to Utah and they use something, whatever test it is that they use, what's it going to say? Is it going to be non-zero? It's how good are we? How good is Colorado at its game? Does Utah
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm almost wondering what would happen if you sent the labs that you have if you sent.
I've done that. I did that immediately because I didn't want them to send it to this particular lab because the lab doesn't do this. They don't test products. And I called so many people that night. I talked to Greg Duran and Terry Robnett for I don't know how long, but it was too late to be polite calling them. And we talked it all the way through. So anyway, we're going to send it. It's as far as Colorado instruments available to the hemp industry can tell, it is zero means zero. But they wouldn't. I was like, okay, send it to, I don't care, Pro Verde, or find a lab in a state where you guys race or we do business, or both. But Utah is neither. So we'll find out. And then, I expect it to be zero, but I just don't know with this machine. And 0 for 80 is pretty, got to make you wonder, right?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be pretty cool, though. You can say you're the only product that's ever tested properly from out of 80 products from a lab in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they said they flat out haven't had any, so if you could be the first, it'd be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Well,
Not if, when.
We should be.
Well, it's good that he talked to the lab director of the lab, you know.
Yeah.
And if something does come back wrong, then that's where you've got enough ammunition in your belt to where you can go, guys, this makes no sense. Y'all need to question what you're doing.
Yeah, I've already questioned what they're doing thoroughly.
Well, yeah, but you'll
Trust
have the proof because your product will be tested and you have all the prior testing.
Yeah.
So but yeah, I look forward to
I think
hearing
the
about
lab.
this.
I think the lab business is a good business to be in. Like for a long time, I thought extraction was where it's at, but now I think testing labs is probably the next.
Well, because everything's going to go to testing eventually, whether or not you're talking about cannabis or whether you're talking about food. I mean, we're becoming such a regimented society that I really think that a lot of things, especially maybe not your standard conventional foods, but going forward with your more organics and different certifications. So whether you're talking about hemp or whether just in general, labs are probably on the rise this day and age. Yeah.
What if they tested our chicken like they're going to have us test our hemp? What is a lot of chicken? A lot is one individual chicken. You would have to lot code. To sell a chicken, each chicken is a lot, right? I mean, 2 chickens aren't the same chicken. You'd have to grind them all up into a paste and then lot code it. And make nuggets, yeah. A homogeneous batch of chicken. It's impossible to do with stuff that still looks like chicken.
Well, how does the FDA do it? They don't test every chicken. Don't they just pick a random chicken out of a bunch?
I don't know. I doubt they test every chicken.
Do they test our corn? When you grow corn in a field, you grow an acre of corn. Olate the sweet corn.
I don't know.
Do you send that out for heavy metal?
Monsanto might, because they have such a lockdown on their pollen. They own their pollen.
I heard that could be changing. Not that they own their pollen, but I heard about a lawsuit.
I don't think they officially own their pollen, but that's kind of a simplistic way to put it because their pollen goes onto another crop and then they own that farmer's crop.
Right. Yeah. Didn't they have a big lawsuit that was about that here recently?
Well, hopefully it will go away in that rule because it is unjust completely. Like that's just no one can't own pollen. And again, I know that's not the technical what it is, but still, it's essentially what it is.
Well, I would think that if that could be so, all of these people that are trying to grow organically, and they have the contamination by the wind, by
we could be in that
farmers.
same situation with what we're looking at growing with hemp.
Mm-hmm.
We really could.
You should be able to hold them accountable, if that's the case.
So it's yeah. I'm not a farmer, so I don't know about that.
I wouldn't want to be a farmer.
I want to grow enough hemp so I can build a hemp house, because I do want a hemp house. But I want to build like 3 hemp houses and then build one in the middle.
With
I don't think
elevated walkways between them and stuff.
So I don't think I
Maybe
could live in a
sharks.
tiny home. I think a tiny home would be a little too small for me, so I think I need like 2 or 3 tiny homes.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And then you join them together in the middle.
Well, you still have children at home, so a child at home running around that invites other children, and you need an escape room.
Do you believe in Sasquatch?
I think it could be possible. Quite frankly, I could almost believe in most anything as long as it can be proven.
Do you think we could be a simulation?
Could be a simulation of anything. Who knows at this point? My husband drove out to Walsenburg with a guy a hemp farmer out there to look for doing drone security on his land, and he for 6 hours got to hear about how we are descendants of aliens. So
never know.
Anything could be possible.
Never know.
Anything could be possible.
Do you think it's? I think they should regulate regular oatmeal like they would regulate CBD infused oatmeal.
I mean, if we have to do it,
take the Quaker challenge, Quaker. I challenge you to adhere to the standards that we're already anticipating is going to come down on us.
I challenge every food company out there to do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If they're so secure in their products and their standards, and we have to do QR codes, and
let's see
everybody do QR
Let's
codes.
clean it all up. We said that hemp would clean up the planet. This is one of the ways that we can do it.
Yeah. If we have to have these standards, and so does everybody else.
We welcome these standards and look forward to them being applied to all things that we ingest.
That's right.
I recommend for small businesses this Zebra GC 420. Should be easy to remember. T. It's a thermal. You'll figure it out, but trust me. You got two options. You can either do direct thermal printing with it or thermal transfer, which one of those will suit your needs. And it was pretty good deal, and it's not too hard to use. But Quaker, I think you should get a $1 billion machine because you make a lot of oats. This wouldn't stand up to your stuff, but for most of us, this will solve the problem in a pinch.
I get kind of nervous, like Quaker. They have an organic line now, and I see it, and I'm like, okay, but is it really? Because don't you have to have just a certain percentage to claim organic?
Our organic standards in the U.S. are pretty poor. They really are. And I mean, what was it? 3 years ago? Maybe it was 3 or 4 years ago. They lessened even more. So, and they're trying to lessen them even more. So, I try to eat as organic as possible, but I also try to buy from small farms. Mm-hmm. I talk to the farmer. I talk to, but not everybody can do that. But,
right.
I try to go to the farmers markets in the summer. But what do you do, October through June, basically. Right. But I just try to support a lot of the farmers markets and the small farmer as much as possible. And I talk to them about what they do. And, like there's one farm, they grow organically, but they're not certified organic because of the certification is so expensive. He said it would put him, basically out of business. So, farms like that are when we get to benefit because we're getting organic standard vegetables, but they're not certified, so we're not paying the true organic price. So you find a lot of those types of farmers at the farmers markets because they just can't afford that huge fee. I mean, I don't even have organic listed on my new packaging because I can't. It
limits your options in the future if you're buying. Yeah.
And I mean, on my ingredient list, I have all my organics listed, and most of them are all organic. But I'm not going to get certified organic right now just because it would be such an outrageous fee for my company to afford. And so I'll do it down the road. But pretty much everything I use is either, like my lentils aren't organic, but they're conventional, non-GMO lentils. I buy them in bulk from natural grocers because it goes up like $1.25 a pound. And that drives my cost way up. So once I start buying in 2,000 pound lots, though, I'll buy all organic, and then I'll be able to do the organic certification. But yeah, I'd probably say it's about 85-90% organic right now with what I have.
Well, I think, where we're making a mistake as a society is we're not teaching our children, and we're not gardening and how to be self-sustainable. And because if you really want to eat organic, grow it yourself. Be the one that tends 100%. To that.
Yeah. I grew up in Mississippi. I mean, I appreciate it now, but I mean, I grew up having to wake up at 5 a.m. to go pick peas and butter beans, and my fingers would hurt so bad from shelling those purple hulled pea. Oh my God, Crowder peas.
And that was just before we had to stand in the kitchen and can all that mess. You know, and we're country kids, Southern country kids. That's what you do all summer. Is your parents have your whole life planned out? You're canning, you know, and you'll cuss and fuss and all that other kind of stuff. But I would give anything to have my mother's pantry right now.
Oh my God!
You know, all the canned tomatoes and everything that she did, and the flavors that
the
came
figs
out of
are what I miss the most.
Shoot.
The canned figs. Oh my
But the torture to go
gosh.
pick the figs in this hot southern heat in the long sleeve, because figs they'll make you itch. They've got a fuzz on there, so you have to completely cover every inch of your
We
skin.
do in the garden anyway.
Yeah.
Just because sunburn, but the bugs.
Oh yeah.
Ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ticks.
I keep thinking about our lime show and how many times
Oh no.
we've been bit by mosquitoes. You know, just eat up with it.
If I had a
But-
canned peach company, I would definitely have that guy from Deadwood be. They ate a lot of canned peaches on that show. I'm gonna watch it. I guess they just came out with a 2-hour movie or something. Sorry, once you guys started talking, tell me, there's one person out there who knows why, as soon as you started talking about canning fruit and stuff, you thought about Deadwood. They ate a ton of canned peaches on that show.
Well, let's talk about, is this the way your crumbles come in? I never bought crumbles. You always give them to me.
Yeah, they come
I
vacuum
bought your
sealed.
hamburgers.
Yeah, they come vacuum sealed in a 8-ounce pack. The box, the reason you're not seeing a box is because it's getting designed as we're talking.
How many?
So-
What's your order? How many do you have to order of the boxes for your
I'm ordering 4,000 boxes.
4,000 boxes?
Yes.
Big packaging commitment.
Yes, it's the biggest order I've ever done. It's all going to be pre-printed. Because, see, I've always had my bags and then I labeled them myself.
Yeah.
It's very labor intensive. Labor intensive. So now I will have the boxes. We'll have to build them, per stuff,
Right.
but still, it's so much less. So I'll have the boxes, and then we'll just put the product in the boxes. But the crumble will be flatter because this will not fit in my box now. So there's definitely, it's a lot of, it's some learning curves to get around by far.
Yeah.
But I've gotten some samples of the boxes, and we just, when you're freezing them and packaging them, you just have to be careful.
Right.
Make sure to do it right. But yeah, because all three of my products, because my brand new product that I'll launch is the Italian hemp breakfast sausage, and all three products will go in the same box, but different. I mean, they'll be divided out, but I made them all to keep my costs down. I made it all the same box, but then the box
Smart.
with the different versions, and then they can
Same
split
dimensions of box.
it up. Yeah, I did the same dimensions of box, and that cut my cost
And you
down
just
for about
change out the
2,000.
art?
Cut my cost down by about 2,000 bucks.
So you have to, the MOQ, the minimum order quantity is 4,000 units on it, but they'll let you split it among 3 designs, or you have to do 4,000 of each design?
No, they let me split it up with it. Warnicki is amazing. They're local.
Okay.
Warnicki Box Company. They're on Juliet, where all the other grows and stuff are.
Yeah.
But they're amazing. They actually got a new machine that was able to cut my costs down even more, because this machine, it handles, I guess, smaller quantities better than their huge machine does. So yeah, I'm super excited. They have been amazing to work with, because I had a really tough time. I mean, even the company you told me, but he never even called me back. The guy in the Springs never called me
Shame.
back. Left him 2 messages, and I'm like, guys, I need this like right away.
Shame.
I know, lost the business, guys. But no, Warnicki's been amazing. Like, they really have. And their prices, I've referred a few friends of mine to them, and they call me back going, Carla, are you kidding me? I'm saving a ton of money by moving to them.
So I haven't talked to them since 2014 when I was starting to look for packaging for something that we totally never came out with. It was totally different.
They've been amazing. They really have. Jacob has been my rep for this one machine because he handles that machine, and then like the bigger machine is Laura.
You should send this video to Jacob at Wernicke and say, look, I just said all these good things about you, and also share it with your friends.
I know, maybe it'll give me some good brownie points and they can speed my box up to like 2 weeks versus a month.
Yeah, we have all.
Because I'm out of inventory at my grocery stores. Like Lucky Sweet Ridge. They have 2 packs of burgers.
Oh, no.
I don't have packaging to give them. I don't have any old packaging. I would have to order 1,000 pieces of my old packaging to use 30. And I get that's probably the right thing to do, but financially that's kind of expensive. So I'm just kind of stuck right now. But I went by and I talked to my accounts. I've sent emails to all the corporate Luckies and Alfalfas and gone by and talked to my managers because Lucky's North Boulder actually kicked me out thinking that they didn't sell any.
Oh.
But they're a huge account of mine. But since I self-deliver, they didn't realize that. So I've been having to like go in and like, please, 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 and beg. And because if they run out, they're out until I get the box.
If you ever decide to put 1,800 milligrams of CBD in something, then I have a whole bunch of stickers I'll sell you.
Okay.
Thousands of stickers.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. Sweet.
Packaging is, that's half the game. It really is.
No, it really, I'll be really interested to see how my sales do when I get the new packaging in. Because it's very visual, it's very bright, it's very vivid. So I don't know. And obviously I'm going to be doing tons of demos. I'm going to be demoing probably every other week at every single store. I'm going to kind of do a guerrilla marketing campaign.
That'll be good because what is it, Lucky's that has you on like a lower shelf?
I know, on the bottom.
Yeah.
On the bottom.
With this new packaging being so bright and everything, I'm hoping that's going to really make it pop.
I think it'll really draw people's eyes and attention to it. I'm excited. I actually am really excited. My one fear though is because I have 2 spots in all my grocery stores. Mm-hmm. Now that I have 3 products with the Italian hemp breakfast sausage, I'm worried that they're going to cut either the burger or the crumble out to allow the hemp breakfast sausage. So that's where my customer base comes in crazy handy, because that's where I need them demanding all products, not just the burger, not just the breakfast sausage, not just the crumble, because I think a lot of the companies are gonna say, well, the burger, we'll pick either the burger or the crumble, and then we'll carry your breakfast sausage.
Wow.
So there's gonna be, but I think the hemp breakfast sausage is probably gonna become the #1 seller within the first year. I really do.
Well, let's show this. Like we have, we're on this camera here, and this is the hemp burger, and it's your standard burger. This is the way it comes packaged.
Yeah, and there's 2 in there.
Yeah, and this is 2, and it has like the little, and this is perfect, for me. You can get one out, if you're the only one in your family that does hemp or is on the vegetarian. My son is informing me I'm going to lose my Cajun card. My go-to vegetarian. And this is the crumble. And it's so easy, it defrosts really quickly. I just throw it in on a cookie sheet, brown it up, throw it into any sauce that I'm doing. Super, super easy. But this is your new, this is the Italian sausage, and it's smaller.
Yeah, it's a 2.5 ounce. It's kind of intended to go for like a breakfast. Obviously, you can use it, as sliders and things like that. But
right.
I feel the frozen food aisle is very depleted in wholesome food breakfast items. So I really tried to
See if I can
segment this towards the breakfast game.
Right. Can't really get it on the camera to where I can show you the texture of it.
How about this camera?
Okay, yes.
Also, if you go to Veedverks.com, you can save 20% on Veedverks exclusive products. Our 420 vape cartridges, starter kits, e-liquids, Amelia lotions, and isolate. Use code HEMP at checkout.
Let's see how I want
I love the Amelia lotion. I keep it actually at my kitchen. It's my burn cream lotion to go to.
Yeah.
Yes.
I burn myself fairly regularly. I'll tell you, man, it hurts like all get out when you first put it on because it's bringing the burn to the surface. Mm-hmm. Oh, it hurts. It stings. It's because I really burnt myself really bad a while back. And I'm sitting there holding my arm going, it hurts so bad. And then 2 days later, nothing. But it literally like, because I burnt myself right here and it brings the burn to the surface and then it goes away.
What I can't believe is how good it does with neuropathy pain, because you don't know when that's coming.
Yeah.
You know, and you can be a little tingly and that kind of stuff, and it just seems to keep those nerves just soothed. Mm-hmm. You know, and I'm not having as many attacks as I normally do. So you put it on whether you're hurting or not, because you don't know how it's affecting you on the inside.
Oh, yeah, because I have the issue in my feet, like you have with your hands. And so I constantly am putting something on at all times, just even before I put socks on, because it's preventative.
Right. I have an elbow that will swell up. And before it swells up, if you can just put a drop on there. And we do know how much is in our pump, 5 milligrams per pump. So... It's not like a Carl's Jr. sauce.
Yeah,
like it's
just
whatever it's in there.
You just don't know what's in there. It's okay.
I bet they had that locked down pretty tight, actually. To do a big promo like that, I bet they knew exactly how much.
I guess they would have to.
They've got those big fancy machines that put exactly like 1.15 grams per. I bet they had that locked down if they had it in individual packets. Because, I mean, it's the same way I would do a sunburn lotion. Individual little sunburn or just kitchen.
Yeah. I mean, McDonald's, they don't have their special sauce in a machine that weighs it out, do they? It's just in a big old vat.
Well, if it comes in a packet, you can get pretty precise with that.
Yeah.
One can.
I guess I think we're also trying to get. Never mind. Shut up.
I don't think they ought to put it in everything.
Huge corporation, a little too much credit, but anyway.
Don't make me pull up that picture.
Yeah, I know.
Is it okay if I tell people that you should Google Carla Malone Boyd and then go to images?
It was a long time ago. A long time ago.
Carla with a C or a K?
With a C.
Oh, it's so interesting.
I can't believe you didn't go to jail. So, Google Carla Malone Boyd. Let's see. Let me turn this back on. How's that? Get your chin in.
Shoulders up.
Back and down. Schofield's quote, go. You were just training that cop. I can't believe you didn't get shot. I'm glad you're still here with us.
He probably didn't know what hit him.
Well, look at I mean, he's kind of laughing. I mean, he's like cracking up at me.
Just furious. That should be your Facebook profile picture. I'm going to use that as the thumbnail for this video.
Now when you call, that's the image that's going to come up on Travis' phone.
I mean, look at his face. He's like cracking up. He's kind of like, who is this crazy girl?
Well, if you're like me, when you get angry, your accent gets thicker.
Oh, yeah. It gets real thick.
And then we start doing the southern thing where the finger and her hand is close to her hip, because hand on hip and finger and head bobbing, you just go hide. Just go.
And then can I show the other one with
Wayward
Bill in it?
Oh, that is so
then
funny.
Wayward Bill, there's a picture where Wayward Bill's looking on.
And then Tiny's in the back going, yeah! But it's just a Wayward's.
Like, did she just do that?
Don't mess with Carla.
Oh. No, the story behind that was he pushed me. And I don't care if you're a cop. I don't care if you're Mother Teresa. You don't put your hand. You pushed me for no reason. He was telling me to get out of the way, and I asked him a question. And he just kind of shoved me out of the way. And
screamed, gun, gun, gun! I'm telling you, you're lucky.
I was like,
2010,
no.
though. 2010,
Yes, it was
times.
2010. It was way different times.
You were yelling
then.
at cops about cannabis before I knew the first thing about it.
We used to sit across from the Capitol and smoke big fat joints and like blow towards them, and they were like, "Oh, they'd all sit there and photograph us at our monthly rallies." Yeah, those were the days. I would never do that now, honestly. Mm-mm. Well, I mean, and really and truly, that actually changed my life in a lot of ways. I had a very successful farmers insurance franchise, and I was forced to give it up. I was pretty much told that, they have, because, I owned the franchise for farmers insurance. And, it's been so long now, I can be like, sorry, I shouldn't have done that. Oh, that was really tacky. No, they're a piece of shit company. No, they actually pretty much told me, because I was starting to write a lot of commercial policies, and they pretty much told me that if I did not give up my agency, that they would make my career very difficult for me. And my policies were going...
Like not give you the lead cards?
Oh, no, it has nothing to do with leads. It has to do with being approved. And they would start denying my policies, and I would get extra underwriting curriculum, criteria and things like that. And so I very much, my DM, he very much tried to save me. He was awesome, but this was corporate. I'm talking, this was from home office, big shot, really rude lady. I don't even remember her name now. I'm sure she made it really high up because she was a crazy ball buster, man. Crazy. People like her give women a bad name in the corporate industry because she was just vicious and evil. But no, she pretty much told me, and she goes, I don't care if you're recording this or not. We'll hold up your, because I had a really good value in my agency. So I walked away. I sold it back to him, opened up my dispensary that never opened, paid rent on it for a while, 6 months. But everything happens for a reason, because I probably would have been just super secure, and with my little agency, I would have stayed. I would have probably eventually started writing cannabis policies, but I wouldn't have come out with Hemp Way Foods. I wouldn't, because Hemp Way Foods kind of came about. It's more than just being a food company. It's about feeding people delicious, wholesome ingredients. That food, you feed your soul, you feed your body, and when you eat healthy with nutrient-dense ingredients, you become a better person. Your mind works better, your body functions better. So if those things are functioning better, how can you not be a better person? Or I guess you could use to be a worse person, because if your body's functioning, you could be more manipulative. But hopefully you use it for the good. Hopefully. So yeah, it just, Hemp Way Foods people ask me how I started my company, and I don't know that I started my company. My company kind of chose me in a way. I've had it I created the recipe in 2013, filed in 2014, but December of 2012, I would have probably called you a liar if you would have told me that I would have owned a hemp food company. I never had any...
A what food company?
A hemp food company. Hemp food company. Sorry. I just would have never thought I would own a food company in general. I never had any... I'm a marketer. I like marketing. That's my passion, my sales. And but I would go up... I would hit, I don't even ever know if I told Jenny Gold this before, but she's a big reason why I even still have my company. I would be at my breaking point. This was probably like 3 years ago. It was right after I met her, and I'd given her a whole bunch of product. And she sent me this message, and she's like, Carla, I just need you to know how much your food does for my body. She goes, I actually am able to leave my house, you know, in a wheelchair. And I don't make medical claims like that by any means. And it doesn't really, if you eat nutritious, your body's going to do amazing things if you have health issues. So whether you eat my food or whether you eat somebody else's food or whether you create all this on your own in your own kitchen, if you eat food as medicine and if you eat nutrient dense foods, you're going to fuel your body in the proper way. Right. But people reaching out to me, you know, telling them how it made a difference in their lives and how it made them feel better and function better. That's the only reason this company is even in existence. Because I would just be at my breaking point. I can't do this. I can't bootstrap this company anymore. And somebody like Jenny would call me or send me a message, and just it happened every single time. And finally, I was like, okay, Carla, you know, the universe is going to stop listening at some point. So you need to stop saying you're done. But, you know, in a lot of ways, like I said, I always say that my company chose me versus me choosing my company. And it sounds kind of corny and weird.
No, I mean, it makes absolute sense because, you know, you get your mindset and all these plans, and you know, you hear people go, oh, well, I don't understand why bad things happen to good people. It's because you need to be shook up a little bit. You would have never have gotten out of your insurance. You would probably be the big hot farmers insurance, you know, mogul in Colorado, and never even thought about it.
Oh, and I was miserable though. I hated having an insurance agency. It sucked. It was so boring. Oh.
Right. But, you know.
But so no, like I said, but I was comfortable.
Yeah.
I had built a really good agency because I was an agent for a little over 6 years. And like I said, I had some awesome clients. I covered a bunch of firefighters. Because that's really, I mean, I always have done stuff with food because I had a huge firefighter base because we gave firefighters bigger discounts. And so I'd cook them food every month, and I would hit all the stations. Nice. And that's how I got my stomach. So I always have been big in food, but never a chef or never.
Well, it's part of your culture.
Oh yeah, so yeah. I mean, you put your foot in it when you're from the South.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah. Why do you think that we get invited to everything?
I don't get invited to anything.
Because you don't bring food.
Nobody invites a Midwesterner. That's all right.
But no, it's definitely been a very rewarding process. A lot of trials and tribulations by far, but it's been rewarding knowing that that you have something to do with inspiring people, whether it's creating a really cool company or also inspiring people to eat healthy. I've had so many people say, you know, eating healthy is so intimidating, but your food makes it easy.
Right.
And that's the reason why I created it, is I created it for me, and people loved it.
Right. Well, you know, everybody wants to eat healthier, but they don't know where to start.
It's
and
hard.
If you can go, pretend this is a pack of ground beef. Yeah. You know, anything that you would do with ground beef,
even
do
more.
with this. You know,
like and more.
And
like
more.
An infomercial. But no, you can defrost it and blend it because it makes a really good hemp hummus.
What was
you can
that?
Do stuffed
that's
peppers.
Right. Your hemp hummus. And then we had these wonderful little lettuce bowls on 420. What was that with
at
the
Chris
peanuts?
Chiari at the Patterson Inn.
Shut your mouth.
I still did not get that recipe from his chef, but that was so amazing.
That was really good.
It was like an Asian lettuce wrap. He did like a Thai peanut sauce and roasted the...
I ate that.
Oh my gosh, it was
was
amazing.
great.
Wasn't that good?
And he didn't toast the crumbles super toasty. They were almost soft. Delicious.
And it had a spicy, sweet flavor to it. So
good. I mean, I've never even tasted my crumbles prepared like that. So I was like super impressed. I was like, wow.
I know, I was so
amazing.
excited when you got there. I go, oh my gosh, you got to taste this.
He's so
Look
good.
what they did to your stuff.
No, I love meeting new chefs that are super creative with it. It's very inspiring. I mean, I feel like I know so much about what my food can do, but I love it when I meet other people that are like, did you know it could do this? I'm like, no.
Well, it just like the it's a horrible thing to say, but mixing meat with it. You know how we like to stuff everything. Yeah. You know, fillet of pork loin.
Oh yeah.
You know, and make like
people
a dirty
do like a
rice.
You know,
A
stuff
pilaf or something.
in a pork chop. But yeah, that would be delicious stuffed in and like if you were doing a meat based item. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did make almost. We had talked about it at one time in almost like a jambalaya, but it was a vegetarian one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it worked out really well. It didn't taste like jambalaya. It tasted like a rice dish, but
yeah,
you know. It did work.
But you can do spaghetti meatballs.
Yes. Goulash. Yeah. Anything.
It literally can be, I don't know about a dessert, but pretty much anything other than a dessert.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Join the Hemp Way Foods Dessert Challenge.
Yeah. Can you create a product into a dessert out of ours? We'll give you some free product if you can. Mm-hmm. Let us know.
How do people...
Inquiring minds want to know.
What's your URL?
Hempwayfoods.com.
Hempwayfoods.com is how you might reach out to suggest.
My website's probably down for about another week, but it should be back. I'm getting it rebuilt. It'll be back up better than ever.
But you can find her on social media.
Yes, all the social media sites, except for Twitter.
And you can also find her on Google Images. Carla Boyd. Training that guy. Get your chin in.
Oh, I think his name was Andy. Andy took that picture, didn't it? Who does it say who took that picture? He called me and apologized.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was a big deal in old farmers' corporate world. It really was.
Who's coming on tomorrow?
Oh, tomorrow we have David Link.
And then on Thursday?
David.
And then on Thursday we have Left Hand Hemp, Kelly Thornton.
Okay.
And then Friday, we have Eric McKee.
Okay.
And then Saturday is our big blowout day at Ozone. Carla's Food will be there. She won't be, but...
I will be speaking
in
Portland.
That's right.
So, yeah, I'm actually... tomorrow I'm flying out to D.C. I got invited to sit on BSI's Hemp Roundtable, British Standards Incorporated. They're one of the oldest standards companies. They've been around since like the late 1800s. They want to get more involved in policies and procedures. So they invited, I believe, around 30 people from different areas of the industry to have a roundtable meeting. So I'm going there Wednesday, and then directly from that meeting, I'm flying straight to Portland to go to the Oregon Hemp Expo. So I'm super excited. I've actually got I've spoken out of state before, but I've never had a booth out of state before. So I'm pretty excited.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. My first out of state booth.
Try and pay attention. How do the British standards people spell flavor? Because there's not a standard way to say that or to write it.
Is there really not?
Well, they put that U in the middle of it.
Oh.
Flavor. Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Demand that they give up the U.
I'll tell them that.
In the interest of standardization.
I'm going to tell them that.
Okay.
I'll tell them that tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Thursday's the meeting.
With David Link, I'm going to have a lot of questions. We'll talk about hemp stuff, but I also have questions about chemtrails, stuff like that. He's fun. This could be a fun show tomorrow.
I like David. I'll have to meet his daughter. He keeps introducing me to. No, I actually think I have met her once, but he keeps introducing me to her on social media because she goes to CU Boulder.
Oh.
And but yeah, Ozone on Saturday. I wish I could be there. It'll be really fun though. In fact, on my way here, I dropped off a bunch of food to Chris. So she's gonna have the Italian sausages. She's gonna do some stuff with the crumbles, and I think she's actually gonna also do some quiches.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Oh my gosh, it makes the best. Thursday, I wish I didn't have a show on Thursday. I am catering the premiere at CU Denver's anthropology department, a feature film on cannabis and how it's been used throughout history. I won't be there, but my company is catering it. My lovely friend, Sarah, Kitchen
Yes.
Queen, she's going to drop everything off for me on Thursday. But yeah, I told Marty, the professor, I was like, I have to be part of this. Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have a film being shown at a university sponsored by the anthropology department. And the anthropology department is actually cutting, very small check, but they are cutting an actual check to my company.
Nice.
Is that not cool?
Yeah, that's really cool.
Isn't that awesome?
Good work.
I know.
Keep
It's
moving the
not
ball
100% donation. Usually, it's all donation. But no, so we have an accredited university paying for hemp catering. We are making progress when that is happening. And Hemp Way Foods is sponsoring the Denver Celiac gluten-free gallop on the 15th.
Mm-hmm.
I got approved to be one of their featured sponsors.
Nice.
So I'm handing out hemp sausage biscuits at the gluten-free gallop on June 15th. So if you any runners out there, there's still a discount available, and at the end of the gallop, you'll get a delicious hemp sausage biscuit, gluten-free. And Sarah, Kitchen Queen, is making my gluten-free biscuits. They'll be vegan and gluten-free. So, we're just really making good strides because it's not, obviously I love that Hemp Way Foods is part of it, but even more, we've got hemp food being put in mainstream society events. A marathon, we have 300 runners that at the end of their run, they get a hemp sausage biscuit.
That's awesome.
And the biscuit will be hemp as well. It'll be made with hemp buttermilk.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. Yes. Well, a vegan hemp buttermilk. And then, like I said, we've got that. And then it's just, it's exciting with how we're progressing hemp and how it's going to become part of mainstream society, just like it should have always been.
Mm-hmm.
We really shouldn't have this, have this
been
fight
here the
right
whole
now.
time.
But now we have a chance, and we have a chance to do it right. So all hemp food companies out there, be above board. Be above board at all times. Do things the right way, because we have a lot of people looking at us. We have a lot of standards that we need to do right.
We have a lot of QR codes to put on packaging that will constantly change.
Yes.
Well, do you know any jokes?
Oh, I can't think of any right now.
No.
I know a whole bunch.
Everybody go learn a joke and keep it in your pocket at all times.
Especially if you're coming on here.
I know. My brain, it's gone blank. Can't even think of a corny, stupid one.
I can't either. I can't. I'm just trying to make you feel better. Anyway, thank you, Carla Boyd from Hemp Way Foods, for joining us again on the Mighty Veedverks Airship, and thank you, Julie.
You're welcome.
And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, did a terrible job of reading comments, but we'll go catch up.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Cool. Well, then I am Travis Lippert, reminding you, if you don't get hemp here, get hemp somewhere.